Hi guys, welcome to Chakra Sessions. I'm your host, Jo Labbé, and we are here tonight for soul connections. This is all about you healing yourself, working with your spiritual team to remove anything or to create healing or change even in your life that you need, that you want, that you desire. And we all would be happy with a little bit of change. There's something I'm sure everyone would like to remove. And after we do that, we always set the energy aside to do messages by doing a card draw. So if you would like a card drawn for you, just say yes, please, and I'll be happy to do that. Hi, Karen. Have a good evening to you. Hi, Rob. What'd you know, Polly Joe? Love it. Hi, Margaret and Mary. And you guys already know the drill, asking for the cards. That's perfect. And so we'll give a little time for people to get here because, it always takes a few minutes for people, their clocks to sync up and for their computer to sync up. So today is the full moon. And some of you may have noticed that energy. Some people have difficulty with it. It can cause a lot of emotional upheaval. And when we're in that space where a lot of emotions are moving rapidly, it can be uncomfortable. Whether it's, having a short fuse or whether things are spinning or you feel like crying for no reason, or just that there's all sorts of chaos that keeps coming up today or in the past couple of days. So that's all part of the full moon. Then for other people, the full moon is like calm. And lots of times for the people who it's calm, you are the best people to be the emergency responders for people who are having difficulty in the full moon. And your time might be chaotic more around the new moon. And so right now, you may have a lot of stuff that got stirred up, which is awesome because if it's stirred up, you can decide to let it go tonight, or at least begin to start to let it go tonight if you want to. So I see a few more people who checked in. Hi, Jill. Yes, good to see you. And Rochelle. Nice. And Neshi, of course. Hi, Neshi. So Neshi is my gentle reminder to tell you guys, hey, like and share this broadcast. Because by liking and sharing, we can reach more people. Because there's probably somebody else out there who could use a little healing, or maybe that the full moon is really giving you a hard time with. So spread the word, put it out there on your page. That's how we get out there in Facebook land. And the more times, you comment or like and share, the more we show up in the news feed. And that's how people are like, wonder what that was, or wonder what that is that they're doing or connecting with. So, make sure you get out there and share it. So, hi, Christina. Nice to see you. Rob's saying he's doing, sorry, Shelly. Rob's saying he's had to learn to deal with the moon and he's getting better. Yeah, it takes some practice. It really does. Hi, Shelly. Nice to see you. Hi, Dad. Nice to have you in the house. Hi, Lindsay. Nice. Rob says, I'll love and share, deal with it. I would love that. So yes, and if you guys want a card drawn, make sure that you ask for one by the time the meditation is done. And I will pull them in the order that people ask. That's the easiest way for me to remember and stay on track. Because, when we do the meditation, I am simply a channel. I'm a conduit. That energy flows through me to help guide you, your spiritual team, and you are working on whatever you need help with. And I might just be saying some key words to help you through that, like breathe or release, or pay attention to your neck right now, wherever you might be holding on to excess energy. So to do that kind of work, I leave my channel open. So that way, when we come out of the meditation, I then pull cards and literally say what my team is saying or your team is saying, to put through. So it's hard for me to think with my thinking brain. So if I had to write everybody's names down, it would pull me out of the channel mode. And that's why we go until we're done. Spirit has no sense of time. So we just keep going until they're all read. So make sure you say yes, please, if you would like a card drawn for you tonight. Nice to see Robin's also in the house. Good evening. Nice to see you. So let's start to get the energy, percolating. Because this full moon is quite powerful. And I will be doing an extra piece of the healing tonight because of the full moon, because there's this very special energy strand that we can connect to in the full moon, and we might as well take full advantage of it. Because when that energy is, at its peak, or it's close to its peak within, 24 hours on either side of it, we have that ability to really tap into something fuller and brighter. And so it often helps accelerate the healing process, which that can be extra cool, right? So let's start by getting our arms and our legs uncrossed.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're going to hear me making clearing noises like that, or maybe a little squawking. And sometimes there's an ancient one who talks through me. Usually it's because your soul is being spoken to. Our ego and our brain kind of gets caught up in, where we are in the healing, and our soul needs a particular thing to relax and let go. And so sometimes the ancient one will speak through, and you'll know when you hear it. So begin by getting comfortable. You want your arms and legs uncrossed. We don't want to short circuit, send any energy back through our body like a pinball machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. And we're going to begin by calling in the divine energy, however you perceive that. Whether you experience that as God or creator or the universe or the divine.
Yeah.
You're going to ask that energy to surround and protect you in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light.
Yeah.
We're also going to invite in our spiritual team, whether we perceive that as our angels, our guides, our ancestors, our animals, star beings, ascended masters, all divine energy of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we set the intention that the healing this evening will be for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves.
Yeah.
And we begin by calling in the divine energy to connect with us. So you may experience some heat or tingling by your crown. You may sense pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're just going to begin to call in the energy to clear away any thoughts, distractions that may be happening for you, around you, through you.
Yeah.
Any ideas caught in the past,
Yeah.
worrying about things that happened, maybe ways you wished you could have shifted them.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's energy that's caught in the future, in what could have been or might be, or you're wishing or hoping for.
Yeah.
And really bring that energy back into this moment, into now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just invite your spiritual team to open and expand your intuition, allowing you to experience all of your senses at the same time, all of your feelings, all of your knowings, along with your instinct and your intuition.
Yeah.
And inviting all your senses to work together as a team to expand your perception, your understanding, and your knowing.
Yeah.
Giving you clarity on your thinking, your reasoning,
Yeah.
and ask that the passageways of communication between you and your spiritual team to be opened more fully, more completely, in each and every way that your team is able to communicate with you.
Yeah.
And in opening the communication, make space for your team to understand what you're asking for, what you need, what you want, what you desire, so that you feel heard and understood. not only with your team, but with other people as well. And so you may hear communication more clearly from others as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really opening our ears for that truthful hearing that we can experience with our team and with others.
God. Yeah.
Releasing the energy in the jaw, where we sometimes hold on to control, where we try to make things happen in our lives rather than allowing them to flow freely and fully.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And opening up the throat and the neck to make space for your authentic truth and self-expression to be expressed in all ways possible.
Yeah.
Releasing any ways that you hold on to stress and tension and all those words that have gone unspoken
Yeah.
in anger and fear,
Yeah.
in worry and doubt.
Yeah.
And releasing all the ways that you've used words in anger or in fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And making room for your throat and your heart to just be in open communion, open communication, to just allow your truth to be spoken,
Yeah.
and allow your truth and your true self to be heard and experienced by others.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And releasing the burden and responsibility energy from your shoulders, all the weight that you carry for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
And in this moment, you simply have the responsibility to be, nothing else. So just let anything else slide off for the moment, knowing right where your responsibility lies. And you can pick it up when we're done,
Yeah.
if you so choose.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And really opening up the lungs so that you may breathe in the air of life fully, all the way down into your belly. And breathe out any air that is stuck and you've held on to in anxiousness. Just really let that go.
Yeah.
And don't be shy, just blow that air out. Make noise. It's no longer weighting your lungs down in heavy, dense energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And moving into your heart and really making room for compassion and empathy to move in. Compassion for yourself. You are the hardest person on yourself. That inner critic can be so noisy and so mean and hurtful.
Yeah.
Just allow that critic to sit quietly and give you a moment of peace.
Yeah.
Feel that divine energy come in with all sorts of compassion and love for you.
God. Yeah.
You are always that perfect divine being in each and every moment.
God.
Then allow yourself to, nice, connect to your inner child.
Yeah.
Give your inner child room to breathe and stretch and grow. Giving them space to feel joy and happiness and excitement.
Yeah.
To return play and wonder back into your life.
God.
Releasing your child of any burdens that it has been carrying for you.
Yeah.
Any trauma from your childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe even any ways that your feelings got hurt by others. And the ways you may be carrying that hurt still.
Yeah.
And how heavy that hurt is for your inner child to carry.
God. God. God.
And connecting to your inner adult, that responsible part of you.
Yeah.
The part of you that carries out all the doing and sometimes forgets the being.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just make space for your adult to release all the stress and the tension that it carries from all the doing.
Yeah. God. Yeah.
Allow it a moment to relax in the light that the divine shines down like the sun upon it, upon you.
God. God. God.
And connecting to your inner warrior, that part of you that is ready to take action to protect and serve you and your ideals and your morals and your spiritual mission.
God.
Maybe that warrior has stood in the readiness for too long and could use some rest and relaxation. Because right now you are just in a space of healing you. There's nothing to stress, nothing to worry about. Just simply allow that warrior a moment of peace.
got it, got it, got it, got it, got it.
And then moving to connect to your inner sage, that wise one, the elder within you. That part of you that carries the knowledge that you've accumulated in each and every lifetime that you've had here or ever had anywhere.
Yeah,
That connection that allows you to have those moments of just simple awareness, the aha, or that brilliant idea to just slide right in.
yeah,
And take a moment of gratitude to your inner elder, your sage, for all the times it steps in to help you, even when you doubt the knowledge that comes through, even when you second guess it. Be thankful for the times that the knowledge does come through, and even more grateful for the times that you realize it and you gratefully accept and use that information
yeah,
without having to go through things the hard way all the time.
got it.
It's not always a case of learning something, but remembering something that you once knew long ago.
Got it, got it, got it.
And then moving your energy down into the solar plexus and all of those beautiful organs in your upper belly that help you digest life and help you detoxify and release anything that you don't need to hold on to.
Yeah,
And as it does this for food, it also does it for all of the energy that you absorb from other people and other places.
got it, got it, got it.
And releasing any anxiety or nervousness or fear,
Got it, got it.
any frustration or anger that you might be holding on to.
Yeah,
Remembering with each noise, we're releasing that energy as a group and how beautiful that is.
got it, got it.
Knowing someone is letting go of anger, someone is letting go of resentment, someone is letting go of their assumptions of other people.
Yeah,
And someone is making room for their self-worth and their self-esteem to stretch and grow.
got it, got it, got it, got it.
And then moving the energy down into our lower belly, into that second chakra, and really allowing it to connect to all of the emotions that we have stored there. Our emotions are our radar, our indicator. of how we are reacting to our environment. They're necessary tools for us to understand and feel when we are safe, feel when we are in resonance, in sync with others. And when we feel an emotion, we are simply responding, reacting to the energy, which is meant to be felt, used, and released. And sometimes we hold tight to those emotions in that poor little belly.
God,
And sometimes we hold it in our back, in the low back especially, or behind our heart,
God,
in between those shoulder blades. And just bringing the water flow back to our emotions allows energy to flow in all of our relationships, in the ways that we connect to other people and to other things, the way abundance flows in all ways in our lives.
yeah,
In the ways we can experience true pleasure, true happiness in all of its flavors.
yeah, yeah,
And releasing any ways that that energy's been squeezed for you. Whether it's been squeezed through addiction or abuse or just an uneven exchange where one person gives more and the other person takes more. Just bringing that back into sync.
God, yeah,
And then moving down into the energy beneath the tailbone and in the legs and hips, and really focusing on any last energy that we may have connected to our safety, our security, our job, our finances, anything that can create us a feeling of being off balance or unstable or unsteady, unsure about our life and where it is going.
yeah,
And just opening up the energy to not needing to know. Just allowing the divine to light the path. And all you have to do is simply walk it.
God,
And allowing the energy to move down through your legs and releasing everything you're willing to let go of in this moment. Down into the earth, really deep, deep beneath the earth and below you.
yeah,
Because you don't need to hold on to that. And Grandmother Earth will compost it and use that energy and take it back to source so it becomes a new creation, like fresh water and fresh air and beautiful trees and food for everyone to share and every being to share on the planet.
yeah,
And then we invite the divine feminine from the center of the core of the earth herself. That molten lava center holds the original energy of creation. And just allowing that energy to return back to us, flowing up through our feet and filling in all the spaces where we released anything we were ready to let go of. Old beliefs, old ideas, relationships with people that no longer serve us, giving us space to create room for new relationships and new love to flow in our life.
Yeah.
Making room for more money to flow.
Yeah.
And as the energy moves up our body, just feeling the comforting, the nurturing that comes from the divine energy of the feminine flowing through us. And filling our poor organs and allowing them to not have to work so hard to move all of this food and all of this energy that we absorb every single day.
Yeah.
And filling our lungs with healing and our breathing, our oxygen flow, our blood cells, all the way through all the chambers of the heart and through the arteries and veins and capillaries.
Yeah.
And as the heart fills, just making space for more love and more gratitude for yourself, and then to share with others.
Yeah.
And allow that to flow down your shoulders, down your arms, and into your hands. Releasing any of that last tension or stress you may be carrying in your neck and your shoulders. And allow it to move up into your head, to the tips of your hair. And as it reaches the top of your hair, we're going to gently call in the energy of the moon this evening, the full moon as well. And I experience that as a bright turquoise, light turquoise ray of light that comes in, and it matches the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So the white, the gold, and the turquoise sort of braid together. And as they weave together, allow them to anchor in your heart, so that you're in that space of the rhythm of the earth and the moon, and the rhythm of the divine and masculine and the feminine in perfect sync.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now allowing that energy to fill all the layers of your aura. Fill any spots where it might be stretched, scratched, torn, might have poked a hole. And remember that your aura goes in each and every direction. So it is not only in front of you, but behind you, including behind your shoulder blades, behind your back, in the back of your hip, especially on the right side.
Yeah.
It's on either side of you as well. So even underneath your rib cage, side of your belly, by the side of your neck.
Yeah.
It's also above you and below you. And below you goes actually beneath the earth. It goes a few inches or a few feet beneath you, depending on how expansive you feel with your auric layers.
Yeah.
And we want to take a moment to send healing down to the earth, clearing any energy the earth is held on to for us, to clear any of our old anger, hatred, fear. Because when the earth holds that, then we walk through that as we travel on our journey. But if we help to release it, we can walk freely and fully.
Yeah. yeah,
releasing the energy of despair that is in so many places at this moment in time.
God, 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 yeah, yeah, God,
And now take a moment of gratitude with your spiritual team and ask them to show you more divine messages, more synchronicities, more coincidences, so you know when they are helping you, clearing the path and creating for you and with you.
God, God,
Now gently return your energy back into this moment. And to do so, just take a couple of deep breaths. Blow them out. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes and stretch and yawn, whatever feels right to you.
yeah,
And welcome to all the amazing people who joined us. So I am going to pull cards and read messages for people. And the way that I do that is I pull them literally in the order that they were asked. Because that's the only way for me to keep my channel wide open and not have to manage the names. So if it takes a little bit for me to get to you, I'm going to go through every single person who asks in the live show. And even if you're watching this after the broadcast, you can still type into the comments, yes, please. And I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I do have a very full weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if I don't get back to you as quickly as normal, that's why. But feel free to just type that in and I will get a card to you as quickly as I can. All right, so I'm going to begin with Karen. All right, Karen, this card is for you. It is called Evolution. All right, I'm going to take my name down because it always gives us a little more room for you to see the card. Okay, so can you see the three balls, the three suns? Okay, so evolution is about earth changes, climate change, and transformation. And I think for you, this is your personal sun evolving. And the three suns are very indicative of the three selves. There is the part of the self that we call me, the survival body. There is the more aware self that we call myself, right? That's the aware self when we say myself. And then there is the divine self, the I am part of us. That is the higher self that some people refer to. But we have these three selves, me, myself, and I. And when we go through moments of transformation, and sometimes we go through these moments of transformation in response to something that happens on the earth. And it can be a political change, it can be a moral change, it can be a climate change, it can be a change of energy in the town you are living in the place that you are working in. It's when there's a shift in the environment that we exist in that we are put in a position to stay stuck or to evolve to a newer, fuller perspective. So we're rising up from the me, mine part of ourselves to myself, yourself, ourselves, right? Where we understand that who we are impacts other people as well. And we can only be in charge of ourselves. We can't change others, but we can change ourselves. And when we change ourselves, when we evolve who we are, we invite and we encourage others to do so as well, because we change the climate of the environment we're in. So when you don't like what's going on around you, change yourself. And when you change yourself, the environment changes. And sometimes it happens that it's time for you to be in a new environment. And sometimes what happens is other people need a reminder of their humanity. And so this is a time of yourself evolving in a way to create change and transformation for you, but also to change the climate in which you live in. All right, beautiful. All right, Rob, this one will be for Julie. All right, Julie, your card is the Temptress. So the Temptress is about seduction and deceit and a broken promise or broken promises. The Temptress is an energy that comes from a shadowy part of ourselves. When we have hurt feelings, when we feel wronged, we sometimes step into our shadowy self and we try to change the situation, and we try to lure the energy into the way we want it to be. We're not happy with the way it was, but we want to shift it and change it to hold our perspective in the way we want it to be. So the seductress and the temptress really can hold this energy of when we're in denial of the actual truth. And so we're trying to manipulate it and trying to change it. So be mindful of anyone who's holding the temptress energy around you, because it may not be happening within you. It may be happening in your environment. Somebody who is speaking one thing and acting a different way. Someone who's being much nicer than normal. That person who's walking with the fake smile that we all can see it through. You know, the person who is telling the untruth. Oh, no, I didn't do that. And you know in your being that it's not true. So be looking for that energy, or be looking for being pushed into a place where you are angry and you might want to manipulate the energy. And that energy is very seductive. It's very alluring. And sometimes it's hard to avoid and hard to choose not to do, because it's always more difficult to walk the path of light than to walk the path of dark. And this doesn't have to be just dark, but it's very shadowy. It's not in love energy. It's the temptress happens in a lack of self-esteem, and it happens in a place of fear. So be mindful and be on the lookout for that, whether it is happening slowly, unconsciously within you, or whether it's happening with people around you. Okay? All right, Rob, your card is purification, especially the purification through fire. I actually had someone asking me about, dragon fire. And I was explaining that the fire of the dragon is the purification. It is what allows the transformation to occur. Purification is through fire, is when we melt something really rock hard. It won't simply dissolve in water. It needs fire to shift and change its shape. And so when we're in that place of purification through fire, things tend to be really raw. The emotions are really raw, and things feel really out there, and you feel very exposed. The truth feels very exposed, and maybe not in a way that you necessarily want to see or experience, but it's out there and it's true and it's in your face. So it has a really jagged edge to it. And so the way to move through that, believe it or not, is to lean in. You feel that jagged edge and you lean in. Even though you feel like it's going to cut you, it's really going to cleanse you. And it's really going to create shifting for you to move through. But we sometimes all need to get to that raw emotional place to really finally release something that has been our personal identification for a long time. You know, people talk about hitting rock bottom. This is sort of like not only rock bottom, but sort of ripped open. And so this is you. But when you're ripped open, you're actually in the whole you, not in the broken pieces that you feel like are you. It's really a chance to sort of see all the hidden pieces of you. And it leads to a more complete healing and a more complete feeling of self. All right. Hi, Margaret. Mary Elizabeth. Hi, dear. Oh, she's pretty. This is the Moonlight Goddess. Some of you may be hearing my kitty Ocelot in the background. So Moonlight Goddess, which is perfect because we're in the full moon. She is indicative of what we sometimes hide in the dark. And so by that, she's shedding light on any emotions that we've held on to. It's all about repressed emotions. Things that times when we've been angry and we didn't express it, and we held on to it. Times when we felt sad and we didn't express it, and we held on to it. And when we hold on to that for too long, it becomes dense. And the other thing people don't always understand is when we hold on to energy like that and we don't express it, people around us, if we have people around us who are empathic, they feel those emotions for us. And sometimes they think those emotions are ours, are their own. So like for me, there were periods of time where I would get super angry or super sad and then think it was all me, but it was really, you know, one of my kids got in a fight with their friend at school, and so they were really mad. And then all of a sudden I'm really mad, even though nothing happened, but I'm feeling they're mad. Now they're feeling better because I've taken their mad. And so when we hold on to repressed emotions, we can actually be impacting the emotions of people around us. And so the Moonlight Goddess, she's shining light, the full moon, into those dark places, sort of illuminating them. And the moon also holds a lot of water energy. So it's encouraging you to like release them, let them go, notice them, and choose, you know, kind of reflect on them, but choose to release them because they're not helping you and they're not helping anyone around you. And that's a message for all of us because we all do that. All right, Margaret. Your card is the Enchanted Forest. So the Enchanted Forest carries a lot of mystery and magic and excitement. And in the Enchanted Forest, we can play and we can dream, but we can really tap into the earth magic energy. So I don't know how often you connect to nature and the elementals, but they're calling to you. They're like, come back, come play with us, because they want to heal you and they want to rejuvenate you. And the trees want to help you ground. And they want to remind you of the beauty and the joy that happens just by being aware of your surroundings. So noticing that leaf that yesterday was green and today now has yellow or orange in it, or that spot where the twig that broke looks just like a lightning rod, or that stone on the ground that looks like a heart that you would have walked by if you hadn't stopped and paid attention and really noticed. And that's when we start to experience magic in all aspects of our lives, is when we stop and slow down and we take in all of our surroundings. And the forest is encouraging you to do it there, because that is such a grounding and magical place. And you've got all of the enchanted beings who want to help with that. I'm sort of seeing the stones and the trees and the fairies, and it's like there's a whole party there waiting for you. So connect to them. All right, Christine. So Christine, your card is loss. And loss is this energy of grief and sadness. And it doesn't have to be a person. It can be part of your identity. You've held on to the fact that you've seen yourself as this particular thing. And now that's no longer true for you. And you're allowed to grieve that part of you that you've lost, or you're allowed to grieve a relationship or a friendship that you've lost. You're allowed to grieve, the change in the seasons, right? You can, if you're very connected to summer and now you've got to move through fall and into winter, you can feel that loss of sunshine, right? But as with the circle of life, loss, like the leaves falling off the tree, right? We can focus on, oh no, the leaves are gone, right? Or we can be excited because the tree is going through that quiet time, that time right before brand new leaves come out in a new magical way, right? In spring. So there's this resurrection, this new creation, this new you that happens every time we move through a loss cycle. And it doesn't have to be big loss. It can be something little in the scheme of things. But when something leaves our life, we can feel the loss for the moment. But when we feel it, we experience it, we honor it, then we move through it and we turn into a new being. It's when we hold on to the loss and define ourselves by the loss that we start to lose who we are. So allow the loss to move through its cycle, knowing that this new, more full version of you is going to be part of the resurrection. All right. Jill, nice to see you this evening. Nice card. Peace. Look at that beautiful sun. So peace is when we let go of those spinning thoughts. We let go those spinning ideas. All of that stuff, that story that circles over and over and over and over again in our brain. and all the worry and doubt that we create with that story, right? True peace happens when we go shh to that part of ourselves. You know, Sonia Choquette talks about that part of ourselves as a barking dog. Are you going to listening to the barking dog? Or are you going to teach it to sit and lay down and be quiet with a treat? And you've spent a lot of time with a barking dog, right? And isn't it time to teach the dog how to take a nap so that you can have some moments of peace and happiness and releasing worry? Because worry creates worry. Fear creates fear. Peace, tranquility creates peace and tranquility. All right, so allow that yipping part of you that's got you spinning in story to just learn to lay down and take a nap for a moment. And give yourself a little peace and quiet and see how your life begins to shift with that. All right, Rochelle, your card is the Night Wind. So the night wind is basically, you know, the winds of change, right? So when the night wind blows, it howls and it can be scary because it's dark and we don't know what's there. And it's much scarier than wind in the light of day, right? Because you can't see what's out there, what's lurking. So the night wind is all about those fears. What's lurking in your brain? What's lurking in your energy? What's worrying you? What's creating anxiousness just below the surface? What's in that subconscious fear? And when we look at that, or when we get an inkling, then we have space to create healing. We can go, oh, that's what's there. You kind of shine a light on it, and you're like, that's not so scary. I can do that. I can take care of that. My team's got this. So pay attention to any fears that are lurking just below the surface. They often will be recreated in dream time. And your dreams will create a scenario because there's a fear that needs to get released and activated. It gets your heart racing when you have a dream about it. And so just pay attention to what the dream has to do with. If you notice your dreams, if you feel it, or if you have situations that your heart gets racing, that's where you know there's subconscious fear lingering. And that's the place to start and really tap into your full healing. Phew. All right, Shelly. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you know, the card is for you individually. But as you listen to some of these other cards, I believe that a lot of that's the information will resonate as an additional message for you. It may not be your message, but when you hold space and listen to someone else's message, lots of times there's a little nugget, a phrase in there that's for you too, which I love because then I get to have pieces of all of them, right? Being here for the whole thing. So, Shelly, your card is healing. And I love this, how the heart is just bursting, these beautiful rays. And so in our healing, when we turn into our heart and when we really access the true heart energy, we can open our heart with compassion and gratitude. And when we are able to experience our heart opening, then we have a sense of who we truly are. So people talk about their authentic self or their true self. This is when we reconnect with that part that feels true. It's like, oh, there I am. I'm in that space in my heart. And when we reconnect, we can actually breathe better. We can breathe more fully. And so in the healing that you're doing right now, you're being encouraged to try to connect with that true part of yourself, because that's where your true voice is. That's where your self-expression really lies, when you can really tap into that heart and really feel and experience that in a deep sense. And sometimes when we're having difficulty connecting to our truth, then it's time to reach out to our healing team. Ask our spiritual team, but also reach out to your own personal earth team. Like if you have a healer or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or a massage therapist or a therapist. However you use your time to heal your soul, that is all a way for you to reconnect and begin to heal. And you can always reach out if you need some help. Feel free to message me on this Chakra Sessions page and I will be happy to help. All right, Lindsay June. Nice. Zen Garden is yours. How cool is that for you, sweetie? This is reminding you that your Zen place, your Zen garden, is your inner sanctuary. We often think of our place of sanctuary as being a home or a location. But our Zen garden is within our heart. Nobody can take our sanctuary away. We carry it with us everywhere we go. We just sometimes forget where the key is, right? So if we have it locked. So make sure that when you are in places where things feel like they're shifting all around you really rapidly, your sanctuary is in your heart. That Zen place, that peace place, that's in your heart. Okay? And just tap into that and know whenever you tap into that space, you're home, no matter where you're located. All right? All right, Lindsay, you were done. Christina. Christina, yours is yin yang. Notice how it's on the third eye and the throat. The connection between the fifth and sixth chakras. So yin yang is reminding you to create balance in your thoughts and in your truth, in your expression. So it's creating a peaceful place. It's creating harmony by creating balance. And this is bringing balance between your masculine energy and your feminine energy, your spiritual energy and your physical energy. Because when we spend too much time in one energy over another, we get out of balance. When we spend too much time in our brain and not enough time in our heart, we're out of balance, right? So you want to bring your energy back into sync, back into focus, back into connection, so that you're speaking your authentic truth, not telling your story. That's the big thing I keep hearing. Balance will begin to have you tell your truth rather than your story. All right, Robin. Nice. Robin, yours is rising above. What a beautiful dove on that. So rising above is when you get this clear vision of what's going on in the situation. And like when we have something going on and we're caught in the what's going on, what's this, how's this, we're in that spinning what energy, right? The spinning of not knowing. But when you rise above, you're like, oh, one, this is out of my hands, or two, this person is really projecting their fear onto me and it has nothing to do with me. And so when you rise above, you get a much clearer view. You get a view of everyone who's being affected and all of that. You also free your energy from the chaos of being in the spinning of the what if and what do we do now and how do we, when you're out of it, then you can find a solution, right? Because you're not being impacted by all the spinning storytelling. So this is a situation, or this is an energy that you're facing, that it's time to sort of rise above it. Don't get caught in the petty, gossipy part of it. Lift yourself up and really get an over, how would the divine see this situation? And from that place, how do I disconnect myself from the negative, heavy energy that's attached to this? And from that place, then I can help find a solution. And maybe then I can clearly speak and create some change around this. Nice. All right, Neshi. Neshi, yours is Eternal Dance. Look at her go. So Eternal Dance is all about the wheel of life. It's about movement. It's about walking or dancing the path of least resistance, right? We get stuck doing things the hard way. But life is a dance, right? So as the challenge comes up, do you bump into it or do you tango with it, right? Or salsa dance with it, right? So you can meet the challenge, you can dance with it, you can maneuver, and you can keep dancing, right? But when we stop and we freeze, right? Like, oh my gosh, this just happened. And we freeze and we stop our movement. Then we get barraged with all sorts of other things that are like it. But when it comes at us and it hits us and we sort of spin and move, you like football like I do, right? So there, the receivers who catch the ball and they're running and they spin away from the defender, and so they miss the tackle. That's what I'm seeing. You just sort of whoop, and you spin around it and you keep moving forward. That's what the energy you're in right now. So just keep moving, keep dancing, and then everything will keep spinning in the wheel of life. So if something feels hard, don't go that way. Go for the way that just feels smooth. It may be totally different. You've never tried it, but go that way. All right, Christine. Hi, dear. Yours is Moonlight, another perfect one for this full moon evening. Notice how the reflection of the moon casts this huge shadow. Puts this little moon and this huge amount of light that is on the water. So moonlight has some romance attached to it and some potential for some juicy things to happen, which can even be, lucrative new business things. It also can show a lot of travel, because that, the moon is like this one little circle, right? But it casts this huge shadow. So it's like it expands its reach. So the moonlight is like, what do you want to shed light to? And how big of a light do you want to shine on it? Do you want just a little flashlight, or do you want the whole moon to illuminate it? And I'm sure you've been in places where when the moon is really bright, it's almost like the sun is out shining, right? And so this is a chance for something that you would like to shift. And it has a lot of like juicy energy, relationship energy connected to it, which can be business, but it can be romantic. And there's a lot of movement with that water, a lot of potential. So usually that symbolizes either some travel, a little picking up in the romance department, or it's this, huge potential for some shifting in, business energy. All of that sounds perfect for you. So look forward to that for you. Jackie, welcome to the show. Your card, my dear, is the Dream. And she is just out there wide open. So in the dream, when we're in the dream state, when we have those vivid dreams, they're messages from our spiritual team, stuff we aren't willing to see or willing to hear when we're wide awake. So this is a time for you to get insight, for you to get the reason why something's been happening. Something can be opened up. It can be revealed to you. So if you've got a question that you're really pondering and you would like some guidance or insight about, write it down on paper next to your bed. I keep a little notebook by the side of my bed where I write down, like as I'm going to sleep, if I have this thought about, I wonder about this. Then if I have a dream state and I wake up and I'm still remembering some of the dream, I write the dream down and then I look at how did it relate to my question. And so we all have that ability. It's not just because, I have my spiritual gift that I have here. We all can be spoken to that way. We all are spoken to that way. Just some of us don't remember our dreams or we don't see them clearly. But for those of us who do, especially when the dream is very, very vivid, it is very important. Or you wake up and you remember it, there's a message in there. So know that that question that you're really looking for the insight to and the answer to, that's when you're going to get the information. You're going to have this breakthrough of like, oh my gosh, that's what it's about. All right. I would do it tonight because the energy is really high during the full moon for them to connect with you. All right, Barbara, welcome to the show. Interesting. Your card is the Message. So you can see the light and the bird and the two trees that look like people on either side, but they are trees. So the message is that whatever you're wondering about, it is a really positive outcome. It's really positive news. You can stop worrying. You can stop stressing. Everything that's creating like this anxious feeling, this heavy feeling, they're letting you know that no, it's not a heavy situation. Everything is going to work out beautifully for you the way you need it to. And let go and just allow the divine to unfold it. And it's not going to take long for it to all unfold. The more we worry, the slower the unfolding happens. So if you could just breathe for a moment and be like, phew, That's good to know. This is all set. It's all done and it's perfect. I don't have to worry anymore. Do that because that's going to help that happen even faster for you, sweetie, okay? All right, Ellen. All right, your card is called Jewel Within a Teardrop. And the jewel within the teardrop is having appreciation. Healing happens through our tears. And we sometimes shame ourselves about our tears, and we blame ourselves for being weak or moody or too emotional. But true healing can happen when you finally get to have your tears, right? And when you appreciate what you're experiencing. So I know that may sound strange to you, like, how do I appreciate grief? Well, grief is showing you how important someone or something was or is to your heart and to your being. And do you focus on the loss or the joy? The joy that you experienced. And we all get times when we focus on the negative. But what would happen? How would your life shift? How would your life change if you started appreciating those tears when they come up? Not trying to be like, oh no, no, here they come and I don't want to feel that anymore, right? But rather like, oh, here they come. I get to go deeper and more fully into healing and feeling, and I can return to joy even faster. So really allow your spirit and your emotions to reconnect and find the thing to appreciate in the having your emotions. Don't shame or blame your emotions. Appreciate them for showing you how much you care. All right, Deborah, nice to see you. All right, woohoo! Goddess of Creation. Look at her with all that swirling color around her. So the Goddess of Creation is all about transformation and returning things to a sense of wholeness. And it's a lot of creativity energy. So this is a time for you to really tap into, what do you want to create in your life? Do you want to create a healthier you? Do you want to create a more satisfying job? Do you want to create a fuller relationship with someone? Or do you want to create a brand new relationship with someone? But you get to sort of hold the magic wand of creation and start those juices flowing. Start imagining as deeply and in much detail as you can. So, if you want to create, like for me, like if I wanted to create a healthy me, I'd see myself, being able to run and leap and jump again, to be able to have energy to dance around like I did when I was in my 20s. I might, weigh a different amount, but I feel really good on the inside, right? And if I want to create, a healthier relationship, I see our interactions and our communication as being open, and I see the intimacy that I want, and I can feel it and smell it and taste it. That's what you want to do, because when you create with all your senses, it happens really, really rapidly. And you're in a very juicy time period right now for you. So get creating. And remember, if you think a lot of negative thoughts, you're going to create that. So flip that around and use it for what you want to. Hi, Dawn. Yes, I remember you. You're Chuck's sister. Nice. Not really seeing you, but nice to see you. Wonder if Kathy guided you here tonight. All right, so your card is a hidden gift. Woohoo! Good card for you. So the hidden gift is that when we have to go through sadness or go through an ending, we can focus again on the loss, right? We can focus on what's no longer here. We can focus on the past. People who get caught into the glory days of high school, and that was the most amazing point in their lives, and yet they miss every other moment of their life because of that, right? So you're allowed to have sadness when there's an ending of any kind. But when a chapter ends, there's a new chapter that begins. And when we only focus on the ending, we miss our beginning. We miss the brand new thing that comes in to replace the energy that we lost. It doesn't replace the person. It doesn't replace the sentiment that we have. But when that energy of loss happens and ends, we have more energy to use in a new way. And are you aware and are you paying attention to what is trying to begin? Or are you focused on the end? And so this is a very difficult thing for a lot of people. We can get really caught up in the loss we feel. But we haven't lost anything. We've gotten the opportunity to gain even another person, another relationship, a fuller version of ourselves, a happier life for ourselves. Because someone or something gave us room by ending. Okay? So you are very welcome to feel the sadness and the release in the ending. But don't wallow in it and don't stay in it, because I don't want you to miss that new beginning. The divine does not want you to miss that new beginning. Kathy doesn't want you to miss that new beginning. Right? She got you here. So you know what to do with that. All right, Cindy Lynn. Your card, my dear, is intuitive communication. So when we use our intuitive communication, we need to become quiet. And it's when we need to, or we get to listen to what our heart is telling us. Not our brain, not that barking dog. What does your heart say? Not what do other people say? What does your heart say? And then when you listen to what your heart says, then you ask, is it true? And if it is true for you, then that's the only guidance you need. You don't need anyone else telling you what to do. But make sure you're listening to your heart and not to your fear. One is in love, one is in fear. That barking dog is in fear. Love feels relaxed and freeing. And it feels real, not painful. Okay? So listen. All right. Hi, Minnie, of course. Of course, we can have a card for you. Your card, my dear, is apprehension. She's kind of laying down in the mud right now. Curled up a little bit in the fetal position. So when we're invited by the divine to kind of step out there in a bigger way, move out of our hiding place, out of the shadow, out of being in a small container, stepping out and being bigger and more seen. We go through anxiety, we go through fear, we go through apprehension. We go through doubt. Should I do this? Is it the right choice for me? Our barking dog makes all these amazing excuses for us to stay hiding in our little corner of the world. But you're being challenged to get yourself up out of the mud, dust yourself off, and move out there. Release the fear, release the doubt, release the worry. Know that anxiousness can be the cousin of excitement. And nervousness can be because something amazing is coming. Just like that Christmas present under the tree, and you know it's for you and you can't wait to open it. That can be apprehension, that can be nervousness. But in the end, it's a present, it's a gift, right? So if you need help picking yourself up, reach out to your sisters because they're there for you. And it's time for you to play big. You've hidden for way too long. And you know it. All right. Christine, didn't I pull a card for you earlier? Christine, yes, I did. All right. Nice. I did pull a card for you, Shelly. Let's see, who were you after? You were right after Rochelle. So I hope somebody pointed that out. Christine asked, what's my card? Jacqueline, your card. So for those of you who didn't hear your card for some reason, you can, on the replay, as soon as this broadcast is done, you can play it again and you can sort of fast forward it on your computer to see. Okay, Sacred Journey, Jacqueline, is your card. So your sacred journey is all about, we go through the cycles of life and we do it by transforming ourselves over and over again. We are in this spiral. And as we go through the sacred journey, our relationship changes with ourselves and with our family, and our role within our family unit changes. So we go from child to mother to, caretaker, or however your role changed in your family or is changing in your family. And think of it as you're going through this sacred journey of evolution and change. And we never stay still. We never stay, stagnant. Unfortunately, we have people that we only see, like every 10 years, and they think we are the same person we were 10 years ago. And that's not true unless we let it be true for that person. but instead you can hold your energy and show them the new you, the you that's evolved since then, who's learned and grown and stretched. So as you're going through some of this transformation stuff, family sometimes is the one who has the hardest time with us changing. So take a deep breath and really hold firm to who you are. And just because they may see you as, young Jacqueline, little Jackie, or however they called you, that's not who you are now. And you just hold that. You don't have to get defensive and you don't have to correct them. You just show them by example that that's not who you are any longer. And show them where you are on your spiritual journey, even if they're not as far down their path as you are. And we're all on a different place on the path, right? And we all learn at a different speed. So just be in that understanding that you are in this cycle and in this journey, and that's where you are. All right? Nice. Jill says she's trying to train her dog. Aren't we all? Thank you, Neshi. Neshi is showing my website. That's where you can find me at trinityhealingsanctuaries.com. And if you want to find more about the my magazine articles in Star Nations magazine, that's where you look. Nice. And then this is the YouTube channel, youtube.com, user/Star Nations Radio 8. So you can catch some of our shows there too. Christine, I think you did miss your card. Joanne, because I know I pulled it early. Joanne, your card is Flame Tree. And the flame tree is basically, it's time to start something new. Start to create your own fire. What do you have a passion about? What do you have a desire to create? What do you have a desire to change in your life? That it's time for you to do. And so when the tree energy is with the flame, it means that the burning desire is actually really grounded. It's really connected with earth energy. It's really ready to be created, really ready to manifest. So this is the time for you to do something new. Stop thinking about it. Stop planning it. Do it. Because all the energy is in perfect alignment for you. All right? Perfect. Love that. All right. Hello. I did just read your card, Joanne. Yes. Of course you were still here, Joanne. I was reading them in order, sweetheart. Yes, Madonna. Of course, your card. That's how I do these. So your card, sweetheart, is Tree of Life. So the Tree of Life is really, the Tree of Life is very symbolic of who we are when we are anchored on the earth plane, when we are connected to our life purpose, when we are connected to our spiritual purpose. And when we are blooming, we are really creative. We have a lot of fertile energy. We have this inner magic that's happening, and it's part of who we're meant to be. It's part of our destiny. And so when you're in the magic and the energy of the Tree of Life, think of being the original tree, and as you do that, it's like you are here to nourish others with the fruit of your creation, and you are here to provide shade for those people who need shelter, and you are here to allow the sun to come through and feed your whole being. So really tap into this very creative, very active, I guess is the best word, time for energy. So if you've got some ideas mulling around, get them on paper. Start creating a plan. Start to take action, because it's time. It's time for that to bloom. People need the fruits of your labor. All right. Nice. All right. So I think I hit everybody. I'm sorry I ran a little long tonight, but I did want to get to everyone. If you're watching this and I didn't pull a card for you for some reason, because I've now gotten to the end of the list, feel free to type it back in. Or if you're watching this in the rebroadcast, type in yes, please, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And so for those of you who are, new to this, I'm here every Tuesday afternoon at noon Eastern Standard Time with Chakra Sessions, where we are learning about our energy system and the way it impacts all sorts of things in our life. And we've been doing a lot of deep work in the last few weeks on different ways we hold energy that doesn't work for us. And then every Wednesday evening, I'm here at 7 p.m. My mission is to heal the healers, because you need to be out there healing the planet in the way that you are meant to. And so to do that, I am here to be a conduit to help you clear the crud out of the way so that you can do that. And that's through the healing and through the messages that sometimes you need to hear. One more card came in. Nice. Andrew. This is very pertinent for you. Lost love. So when we go through a period of lost love, sweetheart, we can feel in the depths of all that emotion. Again, it's tap into that grief, that loss, and it's fine to feel that, but it's not fine to wallow in it, right? Because from every loss is a new beginning. And so this is a time when it's really, really hard, but it's surrender to the possibility that the loss is the best thing that could happen to you. And in that surrender, you'll leave space for that energy to release, so that you're not wrapped into the woulda, shoulda, coulda of the past. And you can move into, this is what's needed now. This is who I am. I'm honoring myself. I'm healing myself. And really what we grieve the most is the love that we gave up on ourselves. So we sometimes give away our love to a degree where we no longer feel like ourselves, sweetie. And then we experience the loss because we gave everything we had and it wasn't enough. That's not on you, that's on the other person. So pull back your energy and allow that space to fill back up. Allow the divine to fill you up with all of that wonderful, nurturing, healing energy you can contain. And maybe you gave it away for a really long time to someone who didn't know how to really receive it. But you deserve someone who loves you the same way the divine loves you. And if you surrender and allow and make space, that's exactly what's going to come your way. All right. So with that, you guys, I will see you next week, either on Chakra Sessions at noon on Tuesday or on Soul Connections at 7 p.m. here on Wednesday evenings. And you can always join Neshi. Each day she does a live card draw, either at 10 or at 2 Central Standard Time. All right. With that, love you guys. Talk soon. Bye.